I hope that you guys have all enjoyed our conference, and it's been a busy couple of days, a lot of sessions to take in, and we were just excited that you spent these precious few days before school starts investing in yourself. And we heard a lot of comments about students and how much you miss them and how much you care about them, but really this time was to invest in you, to take care of yourself, to help you get better, and to help you be prepared for the year that is ahead of you. Oh no, I have a problem with my slide here. You have to excuse me for just one quick second here. A last minute addition was not a good idea. So anyway, welcome and thank you for spending your time taking care of us. And before we get all mushy about back to school and thinking about the year ahead, we definitely have an elephant in the room that we need to address as we talk about back to school this year. So last night I quick put out a poll on the SD Educators page and just asked for one simple word to describe how you feel about this school year. And I got a lot, almost 500 responses. So lots of things going on, but ready. It's been a long 5-6 months. We're ready to get back. Nervous, excited, anxious, apprehensive, uncomfortable, scared, terrified, stressed, concerned, uncertain, unsettled, disheartened, unprepared, hopeful, overwhelmed, tired, prayerful, uncertain, sad. You can see the feelings just kept coming and coming and coming. And then at the end, it had ta-da that I added. That was one last comment that came in that I thought really kind of tied it all together, because even with all of these feelings and everything going on, we know that ta-da is what teachers are going to do. They're going to come in and they're going to shine, and they're going to know how to take care of their students and how to go forward. So I don't think it's fair to talk about back to school and not own all of these feelings. We have people in your buildings that are going to be anxious and uncertain. We're going to have times that we're going to need to be compassionate and take care of each other, take care of our students, take care of our parents, take care of yourselves. And there's just a lot to face as you go into these days ahead. But in true Dave Letterman fashion here, I like to look at things and what do I know, and what are 10 things that we know for sure are going to be true about the 2021 school year. Number 10, expect change. There will be bumps in the roads and plans will change. Everything is still so fluid at this point, and so pivoting is going to be necessary. Back to normal. Is that a phrase we hear every day or not? I challenge you not to compare yourself to normal. This isn't normal. We don't know whatever will be normal again. And so just take each day with what it is and what comes, and don't try and make it to be what it was before, because it's not. And don't let people tell you that what can be done or what can't be done. We've seen amazing tools this week of innovative things that people did to change their classrooms and to go different. There's a lot that, nobody thought students could learn online the way they did. Never would we have imagined to flip our classrooms to online overnight. No one said that anyone would attend a virtual conference, and conference has been huge and widely attended. So don't try and fit into a perfect box, because it's okay to be different for now. Number 8, you miss your crazy kids and they miss you. And that is a theme that we saw threaded throughout this week, is that we know they miss you and we know that you miss them even more. And I think a lot of those feelings that we talked about on that first slide will go by the wayside a little bit once you get back into your routine and back with your students and ready to march forward in a little bit more routine. Number 7, a whole new appreciation for schools and teachers. Parents know better than ever how important your role is in those lives and how difficult it is without you. And so hopefully we see some really positive things come out of this short break. Number 6, emotions are charged. Everyone's going to experience their own personal journey with emotions, but also you're going to be dealing with a host of people that have all kinds of feelings, and just remember that as you go through. I think that's going to come up on another slide here in a second. Number 5, it's time to get back with your coworkers. We're social human beings as well, and there are something about teachers that they only get other teachers, and there's things that there's a language that you speak when you're together with your coworkers that is unique to you, and we know that you miss those friendships and those relationships as well. Number 4, your toolbox is bigger than it was a year ago. If you have gone through this pandemic and you are not forever changed as a teacher, you have missed something big. You have had an enormous opportunity to learn by being thrown in the deep end of the pool, but hopefully you have learned things. I would bet a vast majority of you had never even been on a Zoom call 6 months ago, and now it's something that's second nature. I've learned about Nearpods and all kinds of things from flipped classrooms that have happened in the last 6 months. And so don't throw those tools away. There's ways to keep this virtual learning incorporated into your classroom and use those tools more and more all the time. Number 3, everyone needs a little grace. As I was talking about with the charged emotions, keep in mind that there are going to be bad days with the littles that you work with the big kids that you work with your coworkers, with parents, with your administration. This has been a stressful time on everybody, and everyone is doing their best. And so if the plan isn't perfect, just be willing to work with it and to help the process go forward. If you notice something isn't right, help that be fixed. Number 2, you're a teacher. You'll crush every challenge that pops up to you. That's what you do. You are resilient and you are strong. And when other people would have said, there's no way I can go to online teaching by tomorrow, find out at 3 o'clock on Friday that you're not coming back, that's a scary thing. And you guys did that with such awe. You amazed everybody on how fast you could do that. And so we have no doubt that whatever challenge comes up this year, that you are going to tackle that. And the number 1 thing we know about this school year is that you are not in this alone. You have got the entire Department of Ed here to back you up with resources and flexibility. Our plans are ever changing to modify what you need. You've got your coworkers that we talked about. Lean on them, lean on your family, lean on your students, and don't think that all of this pressure rests just on your shoulders. One of the best organizations for supporting our CTE teachers is the South Dakota ACTE Association. This is usually the group that we coordinate this conference with, and that business meeting for them has been postponed until next year. We were supposed to gather in Watertown this week, but they will continue that next year in Watertown again. And if you have not renewed your membership, or if you want more information about this organization, you can go to their website. Make sure that if you are an existing member that you do renew those dues. Even though this conference was free, if you want your membership to stay active, that needs to be renewed through their website. For the CTE teachers in the session, I would be remiss if I didn't at least talk a little bit about where we are and what's headed. As many of you know, we are in the middle of Perkins 5. We presented that model to our schools last November, kind of pulled the carpet out from under you and said, there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some fantastic things coming, but there's a lot of work that comes with that. January, you guys all dug in. We have some newly formed consortiums. We have statewide consortiums that are just getting off and running. And the work really began on that CLNA Lite in January. By April, even mid-pandemic, those all got finished and our state plan was approved by USED. And so we are officially good to go. What's left is the full comprehensive needs assessment that's going to result in a long-term plan for improving your CTE programs. And this isn't going to be a project that we come back to every year. It's really meant to be a strategic plan that's going to guide you and us into the future with what CTE in South Dakota is going to look like. Normally at conference, I release timelines. I don't have those for you today because we are remaining flexible with COVID, and we want to make sure that you can get back to school and get things started off on the right foot. And then we will touch base on what's left to do with those comprehensive needs assessments. I touched on this slide on Monday and what kind of ties us all together. And I think you'll see a lot of these themes on the sessions that you attended this week. And you can use these as stakeholders as you work on that CLNA, but there was lots of sections on equity and diversity and remote learning and how to have access to different guest speakers and different videos and different resources, no matter what your zip code is. And so I hope that you think about some of the sessions that you attended this week and how that might help you drive your plan going forward. Right. A few housekeeping things, archive sessions. I know many of you are working on this for credit and you want to get to those archive sessions. Our friends at TIE are getting those videos formatted and ready for upload. If you go to the archive sessions tab, you will see the links for about maybe a third of the videos are already up and posted. I'm sure that they will be working hard on those over the next couple of days to get those links there. This website will stay up until the end of August, and so you can watch those videos through there. Credit is due on August 28th. And then those videos are live on YouTube. So if there's a link there that you find value in, you can save that link and that will be good. I've had people ask, can I share this in my school? Can I send this to my teachers? Can I show this in my class? Absolutely. We want you to be able to use these videos and use these resources however you can help. There's been some great sessions for guest speakers and things like that that would work really well into your classrooms. And I know some tools and resources that could be awesome training tools for your staff. So please use those. That's what we've created it for, and that's why they're here and that they're archived for you. Just know that you'll want to save those links by the end of August if you want to have access to them. And then also I had a lot of people wonder where those resources are that your presenters had talked to. If you click, sorry, this should say resources tab, not sessions tab, resources. And then you just click down here for the folder that you'd like to open. All right. As I said, if you're taking this for credit or CEU, those reflections are due August 28th. The graduate credit is a reflection template that you have to submit one per section or that you attend for a total of 15. And then the CEU is just one form that you have to submit one time. You'll find all of those on the credit tab. All right, so we hope you've taken what you needed this week to refresh, recharge, and renew yourself, and that this conference provided exactly what you need. Here's one last video that I'd like to show you before we wrap up today.
How do you feel? How do you How do you feel? How do you genuinely, honestly feel? Right? Ask a teacher that question, and the answer could be absolutely terrifying. As human beings, we have become pretty shocking at taking care of ourselves. But as teachers, we have reached a whole other level of neglect. A third of teachers quit the profession within the first 5 years of qualifying. On top of that, 1 in 83 last year was signed off on long-term sick due to pressures of work, stress, anxiety. That's 3,750 human beings. You may know one of them. Friends, colleagues, family. We have reached an epidemic of stress in our schools, and it is a reality that needs facing. But what if we could, as individuals, take little steps to start to place the same emphasis on staff well-being as we do for the mental health of the children that we teach? What would that look like? How would that feel? So everyone has a story of how they struggled, and I'm no different, and wow, was I struggling. So a couple of years ago, I bumped into my old primary school PE teacher, randomly at a museum with my 2 young girls, and as they toasted some bread, he asked me how I was doing and how being a teacher was. And in that moment, I decided to be completely honest, both with him and with myself. And I told him of how much I was struggling, how life had just become too much, and I didn't know if I wanted to be a teacher anymore. I didn't know if I could be a teacher anymore. And then I listened to him, and I absorbed how difficult he had found the role, not just back when I knew him, all those years ago, but in the years that followed, and actually throughout his whole career. And I wasn't alone. I realized other people felt the same way that I was feeling. Because the reality was that 30 years on from those days with him in PE, I was the broken one. I was the one struggling to simply cope, let alone stand up and teach outstanding lessons every day. And 2 weeks after that seemingly random catch-up with that old school teacher of mine, I was signed off work sick and in danger of becoming one of those 3,750 teachers that stay signed off. And I made a choice. And my choice was to survive. So I have always loved yoga. I loved yoga so much that I signed up for a yoga teacher training course with the best teachers at the most amazing, beautiful, wonderful studio. But I wasn't going to do it. I was going to cancel my place because life had just become too overwhelming. But the universe, which already I know sounds a little bit yoga-like, so I knew I was on the right track, lined things up a little bit for me and made it just a little bit easier for me to say yes to that cause and yes to myself. And never have I been more thankful of the timing of this yoga teacher training starting, because it taught me everything I needed to know to start to put my pieces of myself back together. if nothing changes in our schools and emphasis isn't placed on staff well-being, then the extraordinary human beings that teach or have the mind-blowing task of teaching the next generation of extraordinary human beings will lose their sparkle, and their drive, their determination, their passion will go. You are so important. You are so significant. Yes, a change in the way that the education system views staff well-being would be wonderful, life-changing, teacher-saving. But what can we do as individuals to begin to collectively move mountains? It is so simple. Take care of yourself. That's it. If we can commit to taking care of ourselves, if we can start to change our perspective about this thing called work-life balance, support each other along the way, then a change can happen. We have stopped listening to ourselves. We are starting to become disconnected and separated from our lives. How often have you wished your day away, your week, your school term, just to get to the evening, the weekend, the next half term, just to breathe? That right there is how we are becoming disconnected and separated from our lives. But you can change and improve your life. You can increase your happiness levels and your connections with the world around you and those people in it. I know you can, because knowing this to be true is what saved me. Saved me from staying broken, saved me from quitting a job that I actually loved, saved me from separating myself from my own children, my family, my friends. So I said it was simple, but how do we even begin to take care of ourselves? Grab a notebook, start a journal. Tell yourself that you are enough, and do that every single day. Drink enough water, exercise. Practice mindfulness, which is just meditation, which is just sitting still, quietly, for a few minutes. Try yoga. Get curious about your relationship with your phone and social media. Practice random acts of kindness. Ask for support and begin to connect with who you truly are. Why? Why bother? Why bother doing all these things? Because you are exquisite. And there is no one else like you. And if you doubt your significance, if you don't believe that you're important in this grand scheme of things, stop. Stop right there in that moment, in that thought, and remember this. Your light is the most important thing in your life that needs protecting. So guard it, shield it, fuel it, and defend it with your life. Because then you can be the light in someone else's life. Thank you.
All right. And on that note, I hope you think about those words. So I'm going to go back just a minute here. Think about these words at the beginning and what you were thinking about this school year. Think about how you go into that forward. We've had so many sessions on mindfulness this week. Maybe you got to take those in. I challenge you to think about how you are framing your attitude about the year ahead, because that's definitely going to transition into your students and into your classroom. And we just want the best for everyone as you march forward into this year ahead. So with that, there is an evaluation tab on the conference website. Amber is also dropping that link in the chat. We would love to hear from you. This was a totally new experience for us going with a virtual conference. Please let us know what you think and how we can improve, and we would really, really appreciate your feedback. All right. And with that, I will send you on your way, and thank you so much for joining us.